Namaskar and welcome to Sports News. I'm Mark Lynn. Let's first begin with the headlines. Gary Kirsten, W.V. Raman and Venkatesh Prasad shortlisted for the role of head coach of the senior women's team. Three-member ad hoc committee interviews the shortlisted candidates. Virat Kohli consolidates his position in the top of the ICC Test rankings. Rishabh Pant, Jasprit Bumrah attain career best place. Tottenham books its place in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup after beating rivals Arsenal. Pochettino's men will now face Chelsea in the semis. And Gareth Bale's hat-trick sends Real Madrid into the FIFA Club World Cup final. The Welsh forward scores 3 goals against the Asian champions Kashima Antlers. But first, our top story. The three-member ad hoc committee for the selection of the Indian women's head coach has recommended the names of Gary Kirsten, Venkatesh Prasad and W.V. Raman to the BCCI after interviewing 10 applicants on Thursday in Mumbai. So this position has been vacant since Ramesh Pawar's term expired on the 30th of November. Pawar had reapplied for the role after not being handed an extension amid controversial circumstances. He was among the 3 candidates, including Raman and Manoj Prabhakar, to be interviewed in person at the BCCI headquarters in Mumbai, but was not among the 3 candidates who were made the finalists, recommended by the ad hoc committee. 5 other applicants from the shortlist, including Kirsten, were interviewed via Skype. Kalpana Venkatachar, the former India women's test batsman, was interviewed over phone. And we are now joined by Shishir Shellar from Mumbai with more information on this. Well, Shishir, of the 3, W.V. Raman, perhaps, he hasn't really been in the news for some time. Why was he chosen? In fact, Shishir, are you with us? Shishir?
Yes, Mark.
Yeah, I was just wondering, W.V. Raman probably hasn't been in the news for some time, at least in terms of cricket, he threw his hat in the ring, but he's made it to the shortlist of 3 finalists. A player who's played, a long time ago, one would think. Probably Venkatesh Prasad's too. But then at that point, at least Venkatesh Prasad has been associated with coaching, with the team. W.V. Raman, what were the reasons given for choosing him?
Well, absolutely, Margaret, there are so many surprises into it, because we have seen that when the BCCI was asked for the applications, this is almost received 28 applications. Some of the names were quite new, and some of the names were actually in the field have performed quite well, so we've got a mix of it. But of course, after shortlisting this candidate, we have obviously we must have seen that some of the surprises here. W.V. Raman is also one of them. But the panel which have been constituted by the BCCI will go through their proper experience also, and how they have been working and how they work also in the past, keeping in that in mind. Of course, some names were there at the top, like Gary Kirsten's Brad Hogg. We've also seen that again Ramesh Pawar have again applied for the post of coaching here. W.V. Raman is also one of the surprise here. The reasons are still in the box that why he's been chosen here, why he's been shortlisted here. That is still been unanswered here. Obviously, it's a question that probably the 3-member panel committee which has been chosen for the interview here will give later on that what parameters probably the coach has been selected for the women's cricket team here. But of course, the name which you have seen here, 28 list, some of them are quite young. And in the race earlier in the morning, when you see them that talking about that these names are in the front runner, including Gary Kirsten, Brad Hogg, and Venkatesh Prasad also, and Mr. Pawar, who was the incumbent coach of the Indian cricket team. These were named, were in forefront. And of course, while going through all this interview process, now it depends on the three-member panel committee that constituted here.
So if we look at these three shortlists, one's a batsman, Gary Kirsten. W.V. Raman is an all-rounder. Let's say he became a batting all-rounder towards the end. But then Venkatesh Prasad is purely a bowler. So you see they have a lot of variety in their choice. Finalizing one of these three is going to be, it seems like a tough decision because, given the kind of nature of the job of coaching, of course Gary Kirsten has coached the Indian team, but he is a fine eye for the batting mistakes. W.V. Raman is a spinner. He probably understands a lot more, but Venkatesh Prasad is a wily bowler who has, taught many a great bowler a few tricks of the trade, especially with reverse swing and things like that. It's going to be tough, isn't it?
Absolutely. Well, Mark, let me tell you that, of course, we've taken these names, but Gary Kirsten is also a blue-eyed boy because we have seen here that in the past also India has won the World Cup under his, when he was a coach of the Indian cricket team here. So obviously it gives an advantage to Gary Kirsten also. On the other hand, of course, like we have seen Prasad have been playing, for the Indian cricket team, and later on he also played an important role as a coach also. So obviously, on equally side, we have seen here that Prasad is also one of the important heavy contender here. You rightly said that W.V. Raman was not in the game so far, but of course the team management must have think that they want an all-rounder performer probably who can beat a batting department also and bowling department also, who can definitely be fruitful for the Indian team here. That's the reason his name has also been included here. So obviously the choices which have been shortlisted so far will definitely have ample experience also. At the same time, all the wings, it's a batting, it's bowling, it's a fielding. These three are quite strong field of all these players. So
when will we know the final result,
the Indian coach, well, that it's still not known exactly because today has been told is the interview process. Now, of course, after interview process, the three-member committee will shortlist one of them and will be selected as the coach here. But as the information that we've received so far is that now no name has been confirmed among these three players. Of course, going forward, probably we may get to know maybe today also and maybe later on, but that time is not fixed yet.
Right. Thanks very much, Shishir, for joining us with that input. Let's look at tours now about... let's move on then. Moving on. Our next story. Virat Kohli, who scored his 25th Test century in the recently concluded second Test against Australia in Perth, consolidated his #1 spot with 934 points. In the latest ICC rankings released on Thursday, Ajinkya Rahane has gained 3 places to number 15 and Rishabh Pant has jumped 11 spots to a career high number 48. In the bowling charts, Jasprit Bumrah, who bagged 5 wickets in Perth, climbed 5 places to number 28. Australia's Nathan Lyon has moved up to number 7 after guiding his side to an impressive victory over India in the Perth Test. Well, Australia beat India by 146 runs in the second Test at Perth to level the 4-match series 1-1. But India were in the match occasionally when the skipper Virat Kohli made that 100 or when their pacers found the mojo. Well, but it was not consistent enough to challenge the Aussies. Let's understand the reasons for India's defeat.
Indian fast bowlers wreaked havoc, but a dogged innings by Usman Khwaja got Australia out of jail. India needed 287 runs for a famous win. However, no one from India's famed batting lineup could get going and India surrendered meekly, giving Australia a 146-run victory. The series is now tied at 1-1. Let us take a look at 5 reasons why India lost the Test match. Openers failed to get going. After enduring a torrid time in the first Test at Adelaide, KL Rahul and Murali Vijay were expected to mount some challenge to the Aussie quicks at Perth, given the fact that Marcus Harris and Aaron Finch had put on 112 runs for the first wicket. Indian fans would have expected Indian openers to put up a 50 stand at the very least. But as usual, the Indian openers couldn't get past the new ball. In the first innings, Vijay was undone by an in-swinger from Mitchell Starc, while KL Rahul fell to an outswinger Yorker from Josh Hazlewood, with his feet going nowhere. India were 8 for 2 in the first innings, as batting was always going to get difficult in the second innings. It was pivotal that the openers put up some runs on the board in the first innings. Sadly, that was not the case. In the second innings as well, Rahul fell in the very first over, trying to leave the ball, while Vijay went for an expansive drive against Leon and both had their stumps rattled. Leon's masterclass. Nathan Leon is currently the best finger spinner in the world. His impeccable line and length pose a problem for every batsman. Leon has been a nemesis for the Indian batsmen over the years. The likes of Ajinkya Rahane and Virat Kohli have found the going tough against Leon. The off-spinner proved his worth again by bagging 8 wickets in the match. Leon turned the match around with his brilliant spell on day 3 of the Test match, picking up 5 wickets in the first innings. The Australian spinner first dismissed the well-set Rahane and then cleaned up India's lower order in a flash. In the second innings as well, Leon picked up the crucial wicket of Virat Kohli with a brilliant spell of spin bowling. He was rightly declared man of the match. India needs to find a way past Leon's nagging line and length if they are to pose any challenge to the Aussies in the upcoming tests. Decision to play Umesh ahead of Jadeja. All the talk ahead of the second test at Perth was about the grass on offer on the pitch. Hence, the Indian team management decided to play Umesh Yadav in place of injured Ravichandran Ashwin. The left-arm spin of Ravindra Jadeja was ignored again. The decision turned out to be a deciding factor in the game, as the pitch had good assistance for the spinners, which was proven by Nathan Leon, who bagged the most wickets in the game. Even the part-time off-spin of Hanuma Vihari was rewarded with 2 wickets. With great bounce and offer and pitch developing cracks, Jadeja would have been more than a handful in the third innings of the game. The flamboyant all-rounder could have also provided some handy runs lower down the order. Umesh had a disappointing outing as he leaked runs and picked up just 2 wickets in the game. Khwaja's resilient knock. In absence of David Warner, Steve Smith, the onus of Australia's batting is in the hands of Usman Khwaja. Khwaja was brilliant against Pakistan in UAE, helping the Aussies save a test match. Khwaja did not have the best of starts to the series, scoring just 36 runs in the first test. In the first innings of first test as well, Khwaja fell for a poor shot to a half-tracker from Umesh Yadav. In the second innings, Khwaja proved his mettle with a brilliant innings of 72. Although his innings was full of play and misses, he did not give his wicket away and kept at it. Khwaja's partnership of 72 runs with captain Tim Payne got Australia out of a tricky situation and put the Aussies into the driving seat. The duo played out the first session of day 4 when the match was firmly in the balance, proved to be a pivotal moment in the game. Lack of batting depth. India has one of the worst tails in terms of batting. The likes of Mohammad Shami, Jasprit Bumrah, Ishant Sharma cannot be trusted to get even 50-odd runs. Shami has a batting average of 11, Ishant 7, while Bumrah's batting average 1.5. Add to that, India replaced a genuine batting option in the form of Ashwin with Umesh Yadav. Although Yadav did a pretty decent job of hanging at the crease in the first innings, he cannot provide you with those 30-40 runs down the order. In contrast, the Australians have a very capable batting lineup down the order in Nathan Leon, Mitchell Starc and Pat Cummins. Cummins put on 59-run stand in the first innings with captain Tim Payne that got Australia to an above-par score. India's last 4 batsmen could only make 11 runs in both the innings combined. India needs to buffer up their batting stock if they are to make a comeback in the upcoming tests. Sports Desk, DD News.
Well, time for a short breather here on the Sports News. Stay with us.
इतने सारे फल फूल, वाह कमाल है भाई। सब शौचालय का आशीर्वाद है मिश्रा। शौचालय
शौचालय नहीं, शौचालय वो भी 2 गड्ढों वाला। 7 साल पहले मैंने इनसे कह दिया था शौचालय नहीं तो शादी नहीं।
और मैंने क्या जवाब दिया था? 2 गड्ढों वाला नहीं तो शौचालय नहीं। 2 गड्ढे क्यों? एक गड्ढा 5 साल में भर जाएगा शौच करते करते। उसके बाद लिवर को ऐसा घुमाओ और दूसरा गड्ढा खोल दो। अरे दूसरी की क्या जरूरत है, इसी को साफ करवा दो ना। टट्टी तो है। ये टट्टी नहीं है, ये सोना है। अरे ये गड्ढा भरने के बाद अगर 1 साल बंद रहेगा तो यही छीछी सोना बन जाएगा।
यानी सोनखार।
इसे हाथ से उठाओ और खेतों में मिलाओ और शौचालय का आशीर्वाद पाओ।
अब तो मैं भी बनवाऊंगा 2 गड्ढों का शौचालय।
और ये भाभी जी को दो।
धरती का उपहार है मिश्रा। शौचालय हो तो 2 गड्ढों वाला।
मिठाई के साथ मटर के दाने?
हाँ, ये सब तुम्हारे लिए हैं।
लेकिन क्यों?
माँ कहती है मटर के दाने शक्ति और बल का प्रतीक है। ये एक प्रथा है भाई, ताकि तुम हमेशा बलशाली रहो और वक्त पड़ने पर मेरी रक्षा कर सको। पर मुझे क्यों?
ताकि तुम सक्षम बनो और अपनी रक्षा खुद कर सको बिना किसी मदद के।
तुम्हारी सोच है औरों से जुदा,
क्योंकि मेरी बहन है सबसे जुदा।
आपकी बेटी भी है आपके बेटों के बराबर, उसे समान रूप से दे फलने फूलने का अवसर।
सोच नहीं अपनाओ, बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ।
इस घर में अंडे देने से हमें कोई नहीं रोक सकता। मैं रोक सकता हूँ।
तुम्हें पता नहीं हमें एडीज मच्छर जो फैलाते हैं डेंगू और चिकनगुनिया।
मास्टर जी ने स्कूल में डेंगू मच्छर से बचने की सारी जानकारी दी है।
अच्छा बच्चों, हमें चैलेंज जगह तो जरूर मिलेगी।
नहीं मिलेगी, नहीं मिलेगी।
यहाँ तो पूरे इंतजाम है।
डेंगू की रोकथाम के लिए कूलरों के पानी को हर हफ्ते बदलें। बाल्टी और टंकियों को अच्छी तरह से ढककर रखें। पूरी आस्तीन के कपड़े पहनें। मच्छर भगाने वाली क्रीम, कॉइल और अगरबत्ती का इस्तेमाल करें।
डेंगू से लड़े मतलब डेंगू से बचे।
दरवाजा बंद, दरवाजा बंद।
क्यों भाई साहब, कहाँ चले? कब से चिल्ला रहे हैं दरवाजा बंद, दरवाजा बंद, दरवाजा बंद। सुनाई नहीं दे रहा? इधर आइए, इधर घुसिए, अंदर चलिए। अरे खुले में शौच जाइएगा तो बीमारी खुल के फैलेगी। दरवाजा बंद तो बीमारी बंद। ठीक कह रहे हैं ना? शौचालय का उपयोग कीजिए और भारत को स्वच्छ बनाइए। साबुन से हाथ धो लीजिएगा।
Goals from Son Heung-min and Dele Alli gave Tottenham victory over the bitter rivals Arsenal and secured a 2-legged Carabao Cup semi-final against Chelsea. Son pounced on Ali's smart ball over the top to put Spurs in front after just 20 minutes at the Emirates. Ali then coolly chipped it over keeper Peter Cech with the outside of his boot in the second half to make it 2-0. The England midfielder was then hit on the head by a plastic bottle thrown from the crowd shortly after that goal. It was a heated atmosphere at what was the second North London derby in 18 days. Victory ensured Spurs made the last four for the first time since 2014-15. Gareth Bale scored a hat-trick as Real Madrid beat Kashima Antlers to set up a Club World Cup final against Al Ain of the United Arab Emirates on Saturday.
Gareth Bale scored a hat-trick as Real Madrid beat Japan's Kashima Antlers 3-1 on Wednesday to book a spot in the Club World Cup final. European champions Real will play host side Al Ain FC in Saturday's final in Abu Dhabi as they bid to win the title for the third year in a row. Kashima almost made a dream start inside 2 minutes with a close-range shot from Sargino that was saved by Real Madrid goalkeeper Thibaut Courtois. Bale opened the scoring in the 44th minute with a left foot strike into the bottom corner of the net after playing a 1-2 with Marcelo. Bale struck his second in the 53rd minute, taking advantage of a defensive mix-up that left the Kashima goal wide open. And the Wales forward made it 3-0 to the Spanish side 2 minutes later with a left foot shot into the top corner. Bale has now scored 6 goals in the tournament, trailing only his former teammate Cristiano Ronaldo, who has netted 7.
We haven't thought about anything past this game at the moment, so obviously tomorrow we will analyse the opposition and get ready for the game. So we know it's going to be a difficult game. It's one we really want to win to lift the trophy, and we'll look forward to it.
All expecting these kind of performances from him every Sunday or every Wednesday, every time we play. And of course, it's not easy to score three goals every game, but I mean, not just the goals, the commitment, and he has had this commitment in the last games, and today everything was perfect for him, but he can achieve this because he was committed before.
Bale was substituted in the 16th minute only for his replacement Asensio to be forced off 14 minutes later due to injury. Asian champions Kashima grabbed a consolation goal in the 78th minute through Shoma Dawe. Sports Desk, GD News.
Well, and that's it in this edition of the Sports News. Until we meet again, it's goodbye. Thanks very much for watching. Namaskar.
सभी यहाँ पर खुश रहते हैं ये हैप्पी हो। हर दिन मस्ती, हर दिन छुट्टी, शनि रवि या सोम।
इसके लिए,
उसके लिए, सबके लिए हैप्पी हो, हैप्पी हो, हैप्पी हो, हैप्पी हो।
सिर्फ डीडी नेशनल पर, इंडिया का अपना चैनल।